Felicitations, adventurers! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where today we are playing Shall We, our Wander Home Limited series. This is episode 2, if you're just joining us, but we'll talk a little bit about what happened last time. My name is... My name is Taylor. I just saw Melanie's chat message. My name is Taylor Felicity. I'm the producer for this stream, and I'm also playing Maisie Hawthorne, who is the rebel. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the game goes on. But I'm going to throw it over to my players to introduce themselves. You'll notice we are short one person who's in chat. Melanie's computer had a spectacular meltdown while we were on the starting screen a minute ago, which is why we had to restart the stream. So she'll be joining us as soon as her computer restarts and can introduce herself. So we're going to skip over Melanie for now and go over to Mila. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am Mila. I also stream here on Twitch, or I will be soon again. I have and will be once more here on Twitch under the name Troll Mila. Other than that, I'm just really excited to be here for part 2, and I'm sitting in a chair this time because I'm fancy.
Yeah, you don't have to sit on the floor of a hotel room. Always good. Yeah, and then I'll throw it over to Zay for you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Zay. I think that's all you need to know.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that neither of you said the characters that you're playing, which I guess I didn't tell you.
Oh, yeah. I'm playing. I am playing Rosemary Rumkin, little mouse veteran.
Mila, do you want to talk about who you're playing?
Yes, I'm playing Enki, the Raven, the teacher. They're very fun. I'm hoping to play them more because last time I think I played other characters more than I played my character.
Okay. Also, Mila, I just sent you. Oh, yep. We sent
Thank
messages
you.
at the exact same time. We literally must have hit enter exactly the same time because I lost your captions. This is gonna be a good stream. Okay. Yeah. So today we're playing Wander Home by Day Dragon. If you want to play it, you should. It's a really good game. Links are in chat right now to get the game for yourself. We are also playing some playbooks that are from the Wander Home stretch goals. Melanie's character is using the Orchardist playbook by J.R. Goldberg, and I'll be playing the Rebel playbook by Riley Rethel. Also, Dreamy's in chat, who made our overlay. So, yeah, Melanie's computer exploded, so she'll be on in a second.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then let's do this. The links are in chat now for you to be able to buy the Wander Home stretch goals that have the playbooks that we're playing. There are some different things that you can do in chat to help out the stream. The first thing that you can do is if there is a point during the stream that you think would make a good clip that you would like to see on other platforms, you can use the command, "Hey Taylor," with an exclamation point in chat. Is this working? Oh, maybe it's not working. You can't do anything. My marker bot decided not to work anymore. So never mind about that. You can just... Is it one word? I don't know why it's not working.
I was like, maybe, but...
No, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to figure it out while we're on. I may have typed it in wrong or done something wrong. Anyway, you could just make a clip, I guess. There's other things that you can do. God, if this doesn't work, I'm going to be embarrassed. I do have a fun little thing. Oh! Melanie!
It's our favorite pothead.
I hear Mila, but I see only Taylor, and also my screen is frozen. Can you hear and see me?
We can hear and see
We can see and hear you.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's all we need, baby.
Well, you said you can only... Can you hear all of us?
I can hear you all, But my screen right now is you and me looking down at Frozen.
Okay. Well,
Also, Taylor, your subtitles are reading that you at one point said "mommy."
okay, maybe I did. Who knows? Everything's
Do you
going
want to give
wrong.
me the link for captions?
Yeah. Let me give you a link for
Mine
captions.
also just aren't showing up.
Oh no.
Oh, I might not be able to get
Melanie,
to
the
these,
ones I
actually.
just sent are for you. I didn't put your name on.
Well, there may or may not be a ghost in our location, but this stream is certainly
This
haunted.
stream is really cursed. Okay, there's something cool. I hope to God this
Forever
works.
with that.
I added a thing that during chat you can play sound alerts, and one of them also does something to the screen. So I'm gonna do it now. Melanie, don't look at it because it'll crash your computer if you open Twitch.
I
Well,
have it
don't
on my
do
phone
anything.
now, so I
Oh,
think
okay. Look, I hope to God this works. It was working before stream. If it doesn't work now, I truly don't know what's going on. Please, it's working. It's so cool. Only people watching can see it. The players can't see it. But what's happening right now is there's the sound of the wind blowing and there's stuff blowing across the screen. So, during the stream, if you want to give us a little reminder that it's this blustery day and there's this windstorm, you can play that at any point during the stream. And then also we are at a monastery, which, oh, thank you, Dreamy, just did this. I couldn't find a good gif of the kind of bells that I wanted to show up on stream, but you will hear the monastery bells sounding. So that's stuff that people in chat can do. And also, if you're watching, feel free to chime in with like whatever little animal you think might be here that maybe that you would be playing if you were playing along with us, or different like Haeth and stuff, what they're doing. So in chat, you can chime in with like, oh, this is what, like, there's also a little dog that's over here or whatever, that kind of stuff. And I think. Oh my gosh. Oh, and then the last thing that you can do is we do have some tip incentives. If during the game you want to have something happen either to help a player or have something wild happen, you can tip different amounts. For 200 bits or 500 bits, you can either help a single player or all of us. For 1,000 bits or $10, you will introduce a complication to the game. So something really big will happen. We've decided ahead of time what some of those options are, and they are very exciting. So you can absolutely do that. Either with Twitch bets or through Ko-fi. You can do that as well. Okay, that is everything that I needed to go over at the top of the stream. So, Melanie, while you were in the void, I mentioned this to the other two. But I thought whoever wants to could start us off with like a little bit of description of what's happening as our characters are coming to this next location, using some of the aesthetic elements that we decided on last week, or like things with the storm that's happening, any of that kind of stuff. And whoever wants to go first can set the scene a little bit.
If nobody else has anything, I can jump in. And I think we open on just gray as the wind howls around us. And slowly we see like debris flying across the screen. There are not even just leaves, there are whole branches being caught in these howling winds. And slowly out of the, like, coming towards the camera, we see our little caravan huddled together on the road, or what we hope is the road, pushing our way forward, hoping that there is something just over the next rise. And I think just over the sound of the wind that is rushing around us, there's a deeper booming sound. The sound perhaps of bells. Who do we think is leading the pack?
That's a good question. I feel like normally Maisie kind of rushes ahead just because she's younger, but I described last time that she's like kind of underdressed for the cold. So I actually don't think she's in front. I think she's like maybe uncharacteristically huddled with someone or even has like gone into some, because I think normally she like walks. Maybe she's like made her way into someone else's wagon because it's so cold and blowy.
I think that means you get a token, Zay.
I get a token?
Yeah, because you described the world around us.
Oh, you're right. I suppose I would.
Ooh, what do I get with this tip? Thank you, Dreamy.
Yes. So with the tip, you get to get a token.
Ah!
Extra token. And yes, thank you, Dreamy, for the tip.
Thank you.
Tokens all around.
I'm just putting a thing in chat that I'm gonna pin so that people can know that they can let us know what other kith around us are doing or saying and use sounds to help set the scene. Let me see sound alerts. So let me do this and then let me pin that message.
I feel like the wind that's whipping around is the kind where it's just like the beginning of the changing of the seasons between fall and winter, where it has a little bit more bite to it than previous fall winds. And I think, I don't know how everyone else is feeling, but Giuseppe's kind of feeling like, I would very much like to be inside somewhere as soon as possible.
Yeah.
This is not looking good.
For sure. Dreamy just redeemed the monastery bells. So that's like tolling as well. Yeah. Mila, did you already say what Anki is doing?
No, I I think they tend to walk mostly, and they probably got fed up with trying to keep all the papers from just kind of like that they keep in their cloak, and I think they're dressed well enough, but just with all of their things just everywhere, they're like, no, I can't do this, and so I think they also maybe like climbed into someone's caravan as well.
You gotta be careful which one you get into.
Yeah. I choose to. Enki just ignores things where they'll just be like, okay. And it's a, I think because they're at a university, they're able to ignore that kind of behavior. They're used to horny academics that they're just like, you do you and I'll do me.
We're in the same room, but
Hey, they will do that.
Yeah, they'll do each other.
Yeah. So one of the things with the biggest storm in a while, or a grasping storm, or Northgale, which is what's happening right now, is whenever you go outside, there are 3 things. One of them you have to do. So you can pick from a list of 3 things. So for whoever is outside, which I think is Rosemary, and is Giuseppe outside, or are you in a caravan? I can't remember.
I mean, like, Giuseppe's driving a caravan. Like, he has he has his cart that he's got Antonio.
So
the beetle.
Are you like enclosed? I was imagining you were not enclosed when you're riding your cart. Is that
no?
accurate?
I'm picturing I'm sitting like out.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. And Rosemary, you're also not enclosed right now.
Yeah, I think Rosemary's walking.
Okay. So for the 2 of you, you must do one of the following. Ask, what that I care about will be taken away by these winds? It's the first thing. Ask, where are these winds going to pull me to? Or mutter a curse and tell the table what damage the storm has caused.
Would you mind repeating those one more time for me?
Yeah. I would not mind. First, you can ask what that I care about will be taken away by these winds. You can also ask where are these winds going to pull me to, or you can mutter a curse and tell the table what damage the storm has caused.
While you're thinking on it, Mel, I think for Rosemary, I will ask what that I care about will be taken away by these winds. And unless anybody else wants to jump in, I think I have an idea of what it is.
Go for it.
And I think she has lost her favorite carving knife, her favorite whittling knife. Was blown away in the wind. She didn't have it secured when the winds picked up.
How are you going to carve ant penises now?
They're
less favorite knife? Horrible.
They're not. That's what they are.
Who is saying this?
I think a small weasel that is also hiking along, who I think overheard the conversation from
Why
us.
does everyone think that they're penises? They're not penises.
I mean, it's like that joke where it's like a third leg, you know? I just thought that's what you were doing.
A ninth leg on an ant.
The ninth leg on an ant. Is that not a joke
No, sorry,
everyone makes
seven,
constantly?
I guess.
No, it's 9 now.
In Haeth, insects have 8 legs in Haeth.
It's also the antennas.
It wasn't finished. I wasn't quite done with it yet.
That makes sense. It was not.
Okay.
It's not a very detailed penis, so that makes sense, actually.
It wasn't a penis in the first place.
Another weasel walks up right then and kind of grabs Mila's weasel and like kind of gives him a nugget. You never seen the end of an ant before? He kind of like kind of dead arms you and like kind of jokes and like start wrestling away.
I know what the end of a weasel looks like.
I'll show you the end of this weasel.
At least take it to the caravan.
Yeah, a bigger weasel.
We're fighting now.
A bigger weasel grabs you two and pulls you apart. She's like got a little like you know, and it's like and she's like, "You kids need to stop being out here in this storm. This is horrible weather." She's like almost getting like blown away, grabbing both of you.
Mom,
Stop
no, it's fine.
Stop bothering Rosemary. You're tough, but you shouldn't be out here.
They're not too much of a bother.
They're gonna get blown away in this storm, Rosemary. You know it, and I know it. I think as
you should listen to your mother.
She's holding you two, and your like bodies are like being like picked up,
legs just flapping.
Back in the wagon, you
two. Okay, so what of the options? I was thinking of like, it feels boring to be like kind of squint off into the distance and like see the monastery as like the place that I'm headed to.
Mm-hmm.
It feels more dramatic to lose something, especially with these high winds. So I feel like because we're not used to really intense travel, maybe my cider kind of tankards in the back aren't properly secured down, so 2 of the 3 that are in the back just come smashing down.
Oh no.
Things that take such long time to make.
Damn.
That was a lot of it too. It's a very sticky mess behind. Oh gosh. Oh my god. Antonio, here, pull off to the side. Oh gosh. Oh no. Ouch. And there's oh bad.
We have to keep moving, Rosemary.
Yeah, I just gotta I make Antonio pull off to the side. I just kind of like, I'm trying to pick up the pieces of what's there. so it gets out of the way of the caravan behind me. So just pulling like wood and steel, the steel bracket out of the road, just like throwing it in the back of the car and be like, okay. And then once we get everything sorted, we kind of merge back in. And it's kind of, I think Giuseppe is in the kind of headspace of crisis mode, where he's not really freaking out about it. It's very goal oriented of like, we just got to do this. I got to get this out of here. And we're going forward. And it doesn't really hit him until until we were like moving along again. And he's just like thinking about like, shoot, head in hand, thinking about how much time that took. Oh my gosh. When am I going to see that many apples again? And just starts trying to like think through plans for the future. And that's kind of where he's at right now.
Yeah, I think that at some point, like a little bit as the storm was getting heavier, someone in the group, whether it was one of us or another kith that we're traveling with, was like, we can pull off at like this, there's like this abbey that's on the way. We can stop there and get some shelter. And maybe one of the older kith. Have we had a turtle? Have we had a turtle yet?
I don't think so.
No, and we should.
Yeah.
It's fucked up that we haven't.
Yeah, honestly, shame on us.
Yeah. This old turtle Lou is, I think, the oldest person traveling with us, and says, I think this is shaping up to be a Northgale. We need to go someplace and get some rest. And so that's how this monastery that we're seeing a little bit off in the distance was not our intended place that we were heading to. But because of the storm, we had to kind of adjust where we were going and seek some shelter before to wait for the storm to blow over. Has anyone been here before?
I think when we talked about it before, we were saying that Rosemary might have been here before.
Yeah. Well, someone here definitely knows Rosemary. I think that she has been before. I think it's been a very long time.
Yeah. What about Enki? Has Enki been here before?
I don't think so.
I don't think that Maisie's been here before. What about Giuseppe?
I don't think so. I don't think Giuseppe's ever revisited a place.
Oh, interesting.
He's constantly going forward and going to new places.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm.
That's very cool. Yeah, so the caravan kind of like as the wind is, and it's just, I think just the wind has been continually getting like more and more intense as we've been traveling. And I think at the point that we arrive at the monastery, at the abbey, and I would assume, I don't think Maisie is getting out of the wagon until we're like in. How I'm imagining this abbey, I guess, is that it's like kind of like walled in, so that there's like a wall that's kind of around the whole thing, and then there's like a place that we can like pull our wagons into that's like exposed to the sky but like blocks the wind a little bit, and then there's like, you know, a stable and all of that kind of stuff is kind of what I'm picturing, which is like Redwall, which is probably why I'm picturing it that way. So I don't think Maisie is gonna get out of a wagon until we're like within the walls of the monastery. Who do we think is like knocking on these big wooden doors for someone to let us in? Or is there some other way that we're letting them know that we need shelter?
I think Rosemary goes she's near the front, but as we start getting inside the walls, she stays at the edge of the wall to make sure that the rest of the caravan gets in. So she's there, like ushering people in, trying to grab things that are blowing away as everybody pulls around the corner, and just sort of ushering everyone like around here. You'll be safe.
I think that Giuseppe's like first thought is just getting the cart and Antonio's situated. So like making sure that Antonio's tucked out of the wind and putting a big tartan blanket on his back and getting him set up with food before getting out, and just like probably joining Rosemary to help situate everybody else inside. Is not even thinking about asking first, is like seeing that it's kind of a religious structure, and it's like, they're, people take shelter all the time in places like this. They'll be expecting it.
I think Enki's just kind of like collecting and like resituating their cloak with all the stuff in it to like, how it was before they became very windswept. I think they like stumble, like as they're doing that. They don't really stumble, but they leave the little caravan that they were part of. And there's like, have we knocked? Has anyone knocked? No.
Oh, we're just getting everyone situated first because of the high winds. Can really you can get hurt.
This is true. Good thinking, Giuseppe. I'll go up and just knock. Hello.
Yeah, I think I kind of like the idea that as we're like in this like kind of, because it sounds like have we gone into the walls, or we're waiting outside and you're not. Who's knocking on what?
I think everyone is or mostly everyone is like inside these outer walls that you described.
Okay, but not like the monastery itself.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
cool.
and Rosemary and Giuseppe are like at the edge of that outer wall,
Okay.
helping everyone get into shelter.
I like the idea that there are other kith in this like outer wall that like are kind of rushing around, and some of them it seems like and maybe the way we were able to get in the outer wall without like having to like be admitted or anything is because we're joining kind of all of these other people who are being driven to find shelter during the storm. And
from the surrounding
yeah, so people who like live around here or other travelers are also driven in here. I think this is more people than Gander Abbey has had within its walls in a while. So I would like to take a moment to marvel at something no one has ever seen before and ask the table to describe it. I think this is more kith than have been at this place of solitude in a long time. Who do we think is here?
I think there's a little family of, I think, mice that are just well bundled up because they're not fully in like a proper shelter, but there's a lot more, so they don't have to worry about the wind, but they're still a little chilly. So they're kind of bundled up, and I think they just have like baskets that they brought with them, and they're kind of like making a little bit of like a small space for themselves, like in the corner. And the mom's just like checking on like the kids, and like I think the like dad has like one of them like kind of like in his arms because he like carried him, and they're just kind of like settling down and just not relaxing, but now that they're not like in like the worst of it, there's like a little bit more of like a sense of peace that they have going on than like, it's very clearly they went from very frazzled to less frazzled.
There is a pair of kiwi bird shepherds here.
Yes.
With their flock of bumbles. Just a tiny little flock. But all the bumbles are kind of in a little cluster, like buzzing around each other. Kind of, yeah, all nervous because of the wind. Like, I think one of them, the smallest one, almost got blown away.
No.
This little kiwi bird couple is like tending to the smallest one. Like, she's fine. But...
Oh, I love that.
Me too.
I think there's also a lesbian doe couple with their identical twin fawns that are like huddled in a corner trying to get them set up so that like I'm blocking like any wind with their bodies, just trying to keep them warm and close to them.
I think there are also some people from the monastery, which I think is not. It's tempting to make them all the same kind of creature, but I don't think they would be. I think they would be a variety of different creatures because that is kind of how, like, especially an abbey or a monastery. I feel like people from all different. There are a lot of ways that you can end up like committing your life to something like that. So I don't think it would be all the same type of animal. So I think it's a bunch of different Keth that are rushing around and like assisting with the people who are being blown in. I think one of them who we'll say is a tree frog. So it's like kind of like their feet
Right.
are like sticking to the ground as they're going around and like helping people. Comes up to let's have it be. We know they have a wagon. Let's have it be Isabel and Henry. Comes up to Isabel and is like, you're welcome to stay here for as long as you need. We're running a little short on space inside the abbey, so what we've been doing with some of the travelers is having them convert their wagons into, build them up a little bit so you could stay in your wagon and still be safe from the wind. Would you be open to having us help you with that?
Oh yeah, we can fit in anywhere. You just point us in the direction, and we'll squeeze in.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
we don't mind cuddling up or cozying up together.
Oh, so we could send some people your way to stay with you in here if you
Oh,
you have.
Please do.
You could send a lot of people our way.
We
Maybe
can
just
take
adults.
Yeah. Oh,
I think this is Enki. Like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is Enki. Who's like, maybe
Stepping
just
up.
Oh yeah,
adults.
what they said.
they make a good point. Actually, it should only be no kids.
Well, the children will be staying with their parents, I think. So we're trying to, we don't want the kids to have to be going back and forth from out here because they're so little, and even with the walls, they could be blown away. So it'll certainly be single adults who will be sending your way.
Perfect.
Perfect. Oink.
That sounds
Good.
Completely
Do you
going
have a
over his head.
library?
We do in fact have a library. Oh, you were the one knocking on the door. Yes, I came out to talk
I
to you.
was.
And then I saw this wagon
I-
here, and I thought I could help them out. Yes, come in.
Of course. Thank you.
Come on, Henry. We gotta prep.
As we leave,
Come with you.
I do the watching. Like, remember,
To Isabel?
to you, yes, to both of you. And I'm just like, not in a fun way.
Enki.
No.
Have fun, because we sure will.
Just remember, this is a religious place.
I mean,
With
my body is
religious
the temple.
beliefs. Let's be respectful.
We'll do. There will be plenty of worshiping.
Oh my
That's
god.
my husband.
Yankee follows the tree frog.
Yeah, the tree frog leads you into and like is gathering kind of some other people as well. And trying to get basically anyone who doesn't have something that can be turned into a temporary structure is like ushering them to come into like the actual building of the abbey. I think there are some other people who are like going out and like securing like the livestock into the stable or barn or whatever they have here. And yeah, bringing people in.
There's a very fluffy sheep who's like checking out, making sure everyone's like is taken care of. If they seem like a little sick, like bringing them into the like a ward area and stuff.
Mhm.
I'm picturing like maybe not full on nun kind of get up, but like some sort of like some sort of outfit. Yeah, some sort of habit.
Maisie is going to launch herself out of Isabel and Henry's wagon where she had
Good.
looked for solace, and immediately joins Enki, and it's just like, okay, I'm really glad to be out of there. They kept asking if I wanted a massage, and I'm glad that they asked. They didn't give me one because I said no, but you know.
They do respect
Consent's
consent.
important.
I will absolutely say
I'm
that.
glad that consent's important to them, but even being asked, I wasn't really that into.
Honestly, maybe
Noted.
just Giuseppe's wagon next time.
Yeah, how's Giuseppe doing? Because you just had all your like a bunch of your ciders gone.
Oh, he's not thinking about it right now. He is using the crisis to distract himself from that fact. So it's like, okay, Antonia's all set. We got the carts coming in. They're getting set up. They're doing their thing. Cool. Rosemary's got everybody handled over here, and Anki's talking inside. Oh, we should go. Maisie, how are you doing? You're looking. He kind of starts like
she's already
touching your shoulders. It's like, oh, you are. Oh my gosh, you're shivering. Let's get you inside, okay? Let's and just like wants to kind of sweep you inside as quickly as we can.
I allow myself to be swept, but I do kind of look around and see that people are kind of like tools are being passed around to like convert some of these things. And I think Maisie turns to Giuseppe and is like, if I could just get some warmer clothes, then I'll be right out there. I'll help him.
Oh, absolutely.
Build some shelters.
I mean, listen, you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to get yourself situated, then you can get back on out here. I'm just in these pants and a light fleece. I got to get some more warm clothes too. So let's get you and myself. Let's get us sorted, and then we'll come back out and we'll help.
Yeah, Maisie's kind of eagerly going in, like barely has this scarf that she borrowed from someone, is holding on to, and we go into the Abbey.
I think I tried to direct us wherever it feels like there's the most warmth, which I think would end up leading us into like a kind of hearth, kind of kitchen area.
Yeah.
As we're walking, Giuseppe's like, oh man, when those bells get going, they sure get going, huh? I've never heard a ruckus quite like that. That's bananas. Apples and bananas.
Yeah, the tree frog who's kind of leading you in, like a kind of like showing people around or whatever, and is like, oh yeah, you kind of get used to them after a while because they go off, and now that the wind is gone, we've been ringing it a lot so that people can find us and know they have a place to stay.
Oh, that's not the wind doing that?
Sometimes it's the wind doing it.
Okay. It's on purpose. That makes sense to call people.
I took a shift up there earlier, and it was, well, I have to say I wasn't doing a whole lot of work.
They just need a little encouragement right now. Yeah, they just I'm barely big enough to, I get lifted off the ground, and I had to get my little suckers on the side of the bell at one point. So I've been staying in the yard.
Yeah. Is my friend here kind of like rubbing Maisie's shoulders, trying to warm her up. We're kind of light on warm clothing. If you have anything that maybe we could warm up with a little bit and get back out there, we would be much obliged.
Yeah, I think he looks around a little bit and is like, oh, we've had so many people. Let me see if I can rustle up something for you. And like kind of nods to everyone to like that he's gonna take his leave to look for some clothes and scurries off. Unfortunately did not bring Enki to the library, just brought them to like I think this is like a kitchen area maybe, so there's a big hearth.
Yeah, it's on picture. I'm picturing it very warm and one of those kind of like brick fires that has like the kind of rounded top. We see a lit fire there, and we see a large moose kind of with their back towards us in this space, working away. They have these massive antlers with some, like a couple pots hanging from one side and some utensils hanging down on the other. And it just kind of hasn't noticed us yet, I think, at this point.
Are they working on making soup? Because that is one of the signs of the season that was found here as well.
It's true. But the smell that we smell when we come in here, I think, smells like fresh baked bread.
Ooh. Making me hungry.
Like good, hearty bread. And you know what? They're actually supposed to be an elder, so even though they are a massive moose, I think they are a little bit more hunched than you'd think you'd see a moose.
I'm picturing this like stove / fireplace kind of in the middle of this room too, so that like the heat that it generates is spread out throughout the room to warm this kitchen. So I think there are a handful of people from the Abbey getting warm, like in just being in this area. They're keeping to the edges of the room to stay out of the way as this elder whips up some food, but they're huddling close to the warmth.
I think Enki's okay that they're not in the library, because I think Enki's going to get some tea or request some tea and realize tea and fresh bread sound so good right now to both Mila and Enki.
Yeah, dang.
That they're like, excuse me, my good folk, do you have tea? And that bread smells divine.
I would like to pause here for 1 second to address that we're not going to have Zay be this moose.
Yeah.
And it seems like we're not going to have Mila be the moose, since they were our little badger gravedigger last time. So it's between you and me, Taylor. Are you feeling moose-like right now? How are you feeling?
How are you feeling? Because you introduced that this character is in the scene, which I assumed meant that you wanted to play them. But if you don't,
I just wanted us to get to where we could talk to them. I could be a moose if you're not feeling moose. I'm not feeling. I can go either way.
I can go for moose.
Oh, so you're
moose?
gonna be.
I can be a moose. Anyone else want to be that? I can be a moose. If anybody else wants to.
You have some moose, yeah.
Moose for the table. We can also take turns.
We can also, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that I love when we jump in as characters and like add things.
Yeah.
I don't know how I want this person to be. To be honest, is why I'm like a little hesitant.
I'm fine to be this character, so I can jump in. I'm glad you said something, because I was not going to, because I figured that you were setting up a character that you wanted to play. So I was like, okay, cool. All right. So let me remind myself of what we decided about. Oh, this is very cute. Okay.
Elder
Gooseberry the moose. So yes, this big moose turns around, and even though like in Wanderhome, you know, even if you're playing an animal that's typically small, that doesn't mean that you have to be small compared to other like, you know, animals that are normally bigger than you. I do think this moose is pretty large, and is like a little like is kind of like hunched, as Melanie already described, and you definitely get the vibe that like if they stood at their full height, their antlers would be kind of like maybe not hitting the ceiling. This is an abbey, they tend to have high ceilings, but like if this was a smaller room, maybe. And as Enki like says like, oh, I could really go for some tea, they just turn around with this very wide smile, and what is their voice gonna be like?
That was my problem.
Yeah, and I already did one of the voices I can do.
Maybe something low and slow.
Yeah, I have such a hard. Whenever I have a character talking slow, they always eventually aren't talking slow anymore.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Talk so fast. But yeah, turn around and this like kind of slow smile goes across their face. And they turn and say, I think we could rustle up some tea for you, my child.
Ugh.
Can we help with anything? We're kind of useless out there right now with being so cold, but we could probably lend a hand in here if you'd like.
How are you at kneading bread?
Looks down at Toad hands. I can give it a go.
Yeah, I think they reach up in their antlers where nestled in is some bread dough. I was gonna say a loaf of bread. It's obviously not a loaf of bread. It hasn't been cooked yet. So some bread dough
Free
that's like
bread.
in a bowl that like has the little, that's rising, and kind of takes it down and says, I think this should be ready to go. And like takes down this like little bowl, probably not little actually, probably a pretty big bowl with some bread dough that's risen in it, and says, if you could just give this a little knead, and like kind of reaches in their apron and like sprinkles some flour on your hands, that they just have in their apron pocket. And then
Love
I
that.
think like as is looking like around the room for the tea kind of stuff, sees Rosemary. And the moose, her face kind of changes a little bit. Like the smile I think goes away for a second. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was gonna say, Rosemary, I think, is still outside. Rosemary was not
Oh,
in
I
the
thought
group
you
that
came
came
in
inside.
with us. Okay, well then never mind. Doesn't see
No, I
Rosemary.
think
Thanks about Rosemary.
It's not
A look
Rosemary.
crosses their face.
No,
and
sorry. I thought you came in with us, but I guess you did not.
no,
That
because
wasn't
Rosemary
established.
was still like
Yeah,
shepherding people in
for sure.
when you all came inside.
So doesn't look and see Rosemary. Looks around and sees some tea. Starts to prepare it. I think uses like one of those little there's like those little things on a hearth, like in like, old times where you could just like kind of swing a kettle over the fire, and like kind of I think there's like a kettle that's already there that just isn't over the fire, and just like uses like a poker or something to swing that back over the fire to get the water going, and starts looking around in drawers. And what type of tea were you interested in, my child?
He's telling you have something full of bergamot.
Yeah, I think like gives a little smile and like nods and like starts digging some things out to make you some tea.
Amazing. How is the kitchens? I think Enki's like, okay, like someone's doing me a favor. I need to make small talk. I don't know how to do this. They're in the kitchens.
Enki's autistic, huh? Just a little bit.
And probably so am I. So here we are.
Who amongst us isn't, though? Am I right?
Yeah, you say, how is the kitchens? And elderberry like kind of nods slowly and says, I find them to be satisfactory once you know where things are, and like seems like they're still figuring some things out.
Yes.
Giuseppe's
Right.
just like kind of pushing into this dough because he has not been shown that there's a way to do it.
It's just kind of messing around with it.
Is this okay? Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't catch your name. My name's Giuseppe Crabapples. That there's Maisie, and that there's Enki.
Yes, nice to meet you. My name is Elder Gooseberry, but you can call me Goose, you can call me Elderberry, you can really call me whatever you'd like.
Don't call you late for dinner.
That's what I was gonna say, Inky. Oh my gosh.
I've never quite understood that, because does it mean you're telling me that I'm late for dinner, or does it mean that you're calling me after dinner has already started to invite me? I've never quite understood.
Quite frankly, parroting something I've heard just saying.
I guess I never really stopped to, dissect it. Be very funny to call I mean, what are the odds that someone out there is named late for dinner? I mean, maybe there's crazier things out there. And just kind of pulls his hand back and like the dough is stuck. I feel like I'm doing this wrong. Is there another way maybe I could help? You know, I'm an ace at making soups if you got the supplies for it.
Oh, yes, I'm sure we do. And like reaches up, and there's like definitely some like onions and garlic like that are like drying, that are hanging from the ceiling, and just kind of reaches up and starts like gathering like soup supplies, basically. Like the things that make the base of like any soup good.
Okay. Giuseppe just kind of wipes the dough off onto his pants if he can, which makes him very dirty, and then like kind of like holds his hands like, okay. There's a basin over there, washes his hands off, and then sets to work, I think, cutting up carrots and prepping like celery, whatever he can find around. Like obviously like they probably don't have the exact things for a soup, but just kind of wings it to make something for the crew outside.
Yeah. What is Rosemary doing? I feel like we should find out.
Yeah, so I think Rosemary made sure that everyone got inside the walls. Kept an eye out just to make sure everyone was in. And then but at this point, by the time we cut back, I think there's a little cigarette that she's protecting from the wind. Just trying to keep lit, that keeps going out as the wind whips through, and she kind of takes one last look out to the wind, storm howling around, and in the distance, it can't be, that'd be silly, but it almost looked like there's a face for a minute, almost a figure in the wind, but just as quickly as she sees it, it disappears, and she kind of shakes her head and turns back inside to the sheltered area, and looks to make sure everyone is everyone from their caravan and anyone else who needs help is all taken care of. So she's like checks to make sure that Weasel family has gotten in and the kids aren't getting into trouble, and I think takes like one glance at Henry and Isabel's caravan wagon, is like, yeah, they'll be fine.
Henry winks at
they'll
you.
be plenty warm, that's for sure.
That horny little pangolin.
Yeah. I love that you introduced like seeing something in the sky. That's very cool. And I think people are now starting to like they're a group of some very buff singles who are helping to make the wagon. So like kind of add on some space to it.
That Rottweiler from before is like, you know, has like just like a sports bra on and like because it's hot work outside. moving
Yeah.
around, heating up.
Yeah. If you're in chat, feel free to chime in with other animals that are here.
Other
Yeah.
horny animals.
Other horny
Some
animals.
of them
that are
can't
here.
be non-horny.
I mean, I guess.
It's not a prerequisite. They're gonna miss out on some fun, but it's not required.
Yeah.
I'm not making that same statement. I'm going to gently imply that it is a prerequisite, actually, for them to be a horny.
There are children here.
Not in that caravan. Mm-mm.
Not in that caravan.
but out here.
Maybe in 9 months. with everything going on. So yeah. So Rosemary's heading inside after like looking around.
I think she's being a little bit reluctant to head inside.
Oh, okay.
I think she takes a look at the Abbey, and some of it seems like familiar enough that she seems. I don't think anyone's really paying that much attention, but if anybody was, they'd see her looking like a little bit reluctant, maybe, to go inside. Almost as if she's making excuses not to go in. Keeps kind of making like just checking on people that she's already checked on, that people that are fine. Just like,
Yeah.
Oh, let me help you, tamp down this part of your wagon or whatever. And it's like, there's 3 of us and it just needs hooked. It's fine.
I think you see that same very woolly sheep from before amble up to you and is like, if you're staying out here for directing any of the stragglers, you don't have to. I'm keeping an eye out. We're gonna let anybody in who needs to. You look like, you're trying not to show it, but you're shivering a little bit. Why don't you go inside, okay? We got everything handled out here. We're used to taking care of the community, so just take care of yourself, okay?
I appreciate it. I could use a little bit of a sit. She's like, I think, leaning on her walking stick a little bit. I think you're right.
Kind of pats your hand, is like, okay, go warm up.
Thank you, friend. Just like pats the sheep back a little bit. And...
I want to pat a sheep so bad now. That sounds so nice.
Yeah.
I get to pet baby sheep at work because we had them over the summer.
Fucking braggart.
And it's even better than petting an adult sheep because they're still soft.
Unbelievable. Taylor,
yeah, it's pretty good. I also got to pet a Highland cow.
This is insane.
This is
and I hung out with goats, and that was just a normal. I think we did that on Thursday, so every Thursday, the entire
baby Highland
summer.
cow. This is unfucking believable.
Yeah, her name was Mootown. It probably still is.
What is it?
Mootown, like Motown, but Mootown.
How could you do this to us?
And her mom's name's Daisy.
That's a great name for a cow. It's a perfect name for a cow.
So good. Yeah. This is unfair.
Yeah.
How are we supposed to? How are we supposed to?
Okay, well, I'm gonna wrap up the stream.
We're talking about Highland cows.
Oh, there has to be a Highland cow.
I was
here,
thinking.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
There's
Yeah,
a Highland cow.
For sure.
I have an idea for them.
Oh.
Okay.
Please go on.
I want them to be emo, with like the hair sweep, and then they have like little rings on their horns.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They're a teen. They're a teen.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Cow. Love that.
Whatever.
Oh, Sierra just said emu.
Oh.
Perfect.
Sierra, that's a different animal.
Fucking slam dunk.
Although emu, very good.
Yeah, that's
also very good. The of them hang
Maybe.
out.
Yeah, two
Yeah,
of them
yeah,
hanging out,
cool.
two
Love
teens. They're like, gosh,
Yeah.
my parents don't understand
So,
me.
hey, one of the
There
places.
is an emo subculture, and it's just the two of them.
It's a
Yes.
very, very subculture. Well, that's funny that you say that because one of the things the monastery can always do is show tensions caused by generational divides. So we do see two emo. I think we see the emo emu and the emo island cow are both fighting with their families on opposite sides of the courtyard, and then like make eye contact. And this isn't necessarily romantic, but it's just like seeing yourself in someone else for the very first time ever because they thought they were alone. They thought they were the only emo in the world. And they don't even know what it's called. And you know what? I'm a genius because this is also a mirror location. So they're seeing
Oh,
yourself in
my
someone
God.
else. Wow.
A mirror can always
Perfection.
describe what looks back.
Yeah.
Or reflect
What
back
looks
something
back is
someone
a
didn't want to
sullen,
see.
sad, angry teen with a bad haircut.
Yeah.
Just wants to listen to their music.
Yeah. The emu tries to have
Spiraling with their
earbuds in, but they always just fall out because their ears aren't really made for that.
Birds' ears is just holes.
Just holes.
That's what the dad is saying to the emu. And the emu is like, Dad, no, I think I can have different ears someday. Ears I can hold these in.
Should just do over the earphones, bud. Get some headphones. We have those. We have heads.
It's not the same. It's not the same. You'll never understand me.
No, I think you're right. I'm
That's not what
very
you want to hear.
How did it get to this point, honey?
telling your parent you'll never understand me, and then saying I think you're right.
I think you're right.
Brutal.
I'm very perplexed by why you can't wear headphones.
It's not the same.
And you know what? My dad never got me either. And that's okay. And we just had a good relationship with us being our own two people. Just like you and me right there,
You
bud.
don't have a good relationship, Dad.
This emo emu just sees hurt pass through his father's face before he stuffs it down and is like, well, I love you, bud, and then walks away. And then the mom goes after him.
This emu dad for sure is wearing like a tie, right?
Yeah.
He's wearing like
But is he wearing it at the top of his neck or at the bottom of his neck?
the top.
Good.
I was going to say bottom, but I support Melanie's decision.
The shirt collar is at the bottom. But the tie's up at the top.
Someone who can draw, please draw this dad.
Oh my God.
Where's Ethan when you need him?
Yeah, I'll find out. Oh, you know what I think? Hang on. I think the stream marker thing I did is working. I just forgot to put in a command for it to say something in chat. So I think if you use it, I think maybe it does work. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, this is what
Does anyone want to
Rosemary's
learn
team.
a fact about woodcock's ears? The kind of bird, a woodcock?
Yeah.
I just learned this recently that, you know how I'm sure people have seen like owl ears, how like if you move like the feathers, it is a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Woodcock ears are actually lower and in front of where their eyes are, based on like because of like evolution pushed their eyes back further on their skull, so it ended up being like past where their ears are. Their brain also is kind of like pushed. It's like upside down brain. It's fascinating.
Oh my god.
I think that's what's wrong with me too.
Your brain's upside down?
Yeah, upside down brain.
And your ears are in front of
Your
your
ears
eyes.
are under your eyes.
My ears are in the correct position, but
Under
Brains
your
are
eyes.
Who's to say
That's
what's
the correct
correct and what's
position.
not correct?
Yeah,
You know?
I've decided the correct spot is under your eyeballs. I'm a woodcock now. I'm just a weird woodcock, but
Your ears are in.
Oh,
There's a lot wrong with you. You're a woodcock.
there's a lot wrong with me.
Hey, we're not gonna shame.
there is a woodcock in Isabel and Henry's caravan right now.
Well, yeah, we know that.
100%.
Yeah,
We already knew that. You didn't have to say.
probably more than one.
There might be a pun there. I don't know. Maybe.
Who knows what I mean by that?
Isabel.
We just hear it.
There's no bird in that.
There's no birds in that wagon, but there is a woodcock. That's a little riddle there for a riddle head.
Riddle me this.
Riddle me this.
How's there a
There's a
woodcock?
wagon with
Nary a
never
penis,
bird.
but
Nary.
if you're doing a riddle, you gotta say nary.
Nary a bird to be found, and yet there exists a woodcock.
The fact that one of you said, and I think it was Mel,
Yeah.
said nary a penis.
Melanie said nary a penis.
Yeah, nary a penis.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Okay, what's
Ooh.
happening?
Wanderhome's an excellent game, everyone.
This is to play Wanderhome. This isn't me
This is the
saying
correct
this isn't me
way.
saying that wasn't Wanderhome. I just think maybe after that we should check back in with the
Interesting, yeah.
that we are primarily playing.
We've done our contractually obligated extended penis bit.
Our
We can move
second
on.
of the stream, because we talked about the
Each
ant penis
stream.
again.
We're
yeah.
overachievers.
Yeah.
Needs to have a
that's
very
just a
long bit about
continuation.
Yeah.
penises.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should cut to a little bit further ahead in time, maybe.
Soup,
Yeah, the soup is done, maybe.
soup,
Um,
soup.
I would love to get Anki in the library.
Oh yeah. Get them in that library.
Isabel? No.
No, that's you would know if she was saying that.
I think like I do really want to get to the library, but I'm also very happy like eating a meal with people.
Oh yeah, I was thinking we could eat
yeah.
in the library, but they probably wouldn't let us, I
Ooh.
guess.
No. I think Enki wouldn't let you.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think Enki would be like,
that.
that's tea only.
I think then maybe what we see is because I think Maisie is in the meantime has gone off in search of warmer clothes, comes in to get some soup and starts taking it out to the people who are like have kind of built up their wagons and stuff. So maybe it's just Giuseppe, Enki, and Elder Barry that are in the kitchen, and Maisie's kind of just like going back and forth to bring food out to people. I think that's probably what she'd be doing.
Okay. I think what Giuseppe does after he gets the soup going, I think he goes to the cart to get the last kind of barrel of cider that he had, which is the hot cider, which I don't know if it's probably still hot at this point, but brings it inside to start warming up so he could contribute to like give that out to people. And also when he's out of the cart, does grab one of his heavier flannels that he has there. He doesn't have a lot of change of clothes, but like he has that. And he finds Maisie as she's running around and is like, "Oh, hey kid. I think they had like some, I was scrounging around for some stuff for us to wear. And I think they had like a lost and found or something. I found this for you. So this should keep you warm. If you, so you're not freezing when you're going out there. Okay."
Yeah, what is it that you're handing me?
The flannel.
Oh,
I'm giving
the
you the
flannel.
heavy flannel.
Okay. I don't know why that like went right over my head, but that's what you were doing.
Yeah, I'm giving you like that is the only thing that he has that is warmer, and I think he's giving it to you to wear it.
Yeah, Maisie takes it. Let me see. Look at and I think you get a token for that if you give up something that you hold dear. I
Give
think.
away something you hold dear. I guess, yeah.
You could also spend a token to
Yeah, that's true.
to like help take care of someone, or what is it? Ease someone's pain, or keep someone safe from the difficulties of the world, or provide a solution for an aspect of a material or immediate problem.
Sure. I mean, it sounds like they cancel out, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of take the providing a solution. Like, it would be me being like, oh, I found this, you know, that I'm giving it to you. But if I'm taking something of mine, giving it to you, probably that's getting a token.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I take it from you. I think I probably haven't seen Giuseppe wear it before, maybe because it hasn't been cold in the time that we've been together that much. So I take it and I say, oh, thank you so much, Giuseppe. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go help the people because that's what we need to do. We need to take care of each other. And like just kind of like rushes out with like soup. Like I think it has like a tray with some soup and some like bread and like warm drinks and some other things like that are out here. And is going to go out and start handing them out. I think first to like, there probably aren't really any kids outside still, but like some of the younger people, or if there are kids that are like in the wagons now, like start handing them out. But then also like the people who are like building things and helping things. So definitely like we'll go kind of like scoot by Rosemary and like offer up a tray that has like some bread and soup and things and say, oh, you look cold. Have you been out here the whole time?
I wanted to make sure everyone was safe.
Well,
but I think we're doing well now.
Yeah, it looks like things are pretty good. You should go inside. There's lots more food, but if you want to stay out here, you have some soup.
I think I'll head in. You get those to those who need it out here.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you take a break. Don't wear yourself out.
Well, I took a break for a little bit. There's this moose in there that was making some bread, and so I sat down for a little bit, and then I got tired of waiting for that frog to bring me something warm to wear, but then Giuseppe gave me this, so I took a little bit of a break.
Good. Just don't wear yourself out.
Nods, and I think has that air as if she doesn't think she can really be worn out, you know, like is like young enough where it's like, oh, I can just kind of keep going and going. Yeah. Like, and she's like, you know, a little Jack Russell Terrier. So I think it's like has a lot of energy now that she's warm, is like feeling a lot better. So like nods, but like it's in one ear and out the other and rushes off to keep delivering food to people.
I think Rosemary can like see that too. Like,
yeah,
it's not hard for her to just pick that up, and it's just sort of like, oh, some lessons have to be learned, not taught. And with Maisie having mentioned a moose, like she straightens up and she takes the sword at her side and sort of like pushes it back towards her back a little bit, I think. Make sure to tucks it under a part of her cloak so that it is out of sight. And then like strolls into the kitchen.
Yeah, and I think this is when the moose sees you and recognizes you as she's still in there. And is like, I think, smiling and talking to people and like, you know, like giving people bread, and also giving people tasks to do. So like when people come to him, is like, yeah, you can do this, and like, you know, like classic, the person in the kitchen who knows what's going on is like getting, you know, telling people what to do. And there is like this pause when they see you, and the smile like doesn't go away, but looks like a little bit sadder, like a little bit of a sadder smile, and is like, Rosemary Rumpkin. Is that you?
It's been some time, Elderberry.
Yes, it's been quite some time. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Of course, my bones could do with a bit of a break. She like walks over to. I imagine there's plenty of like tables and workspaces around, and I think she pulls a chair over and being a mouse just like scamper up into it. I think this chair, and I imagine there's like some helpers in the kitchen who sort of scurry in and out. I think this is like a little tiny bearded dragon who like scampers over with a bowl of soup, maybe an extra cup of tea that Rosemary graciously takes. Sort of like sitting there awkwardly holding this bowl of soup.
Yeah, Melanie, I have to know what kind of soup it turned out to be that Giuseppe made.
I mean, it is maybe thinner than he would like it, but it is like a carrot root based sort of stew or soup. So like not like a creamy hearty soup. It is a more broth based kind of setup.
Yeah. I think Elderberry kind of like is just watching Rosemary for a little while and not really saying anything, and then says, "It's been a long time since you were here, Rosemary. What are your feelings on that?"
Well, it's been an eventful few decades, lifetime.
They tend to be. They tend to be.
You look as spry as ever.
I wish I could say I feel it. And kind of like straightens as much as they can for a second and then kind of goes back into the more comfortable, like slightly hunched over position.
Clattering of pots as she does.
Yeah.
I understand the feeling more and more these days myself.
Well, you're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like.
Well, I think we'll be staying at least as long as the storm because none of us are going anywhere.
I think the smile kind of slowly grows on her face again and says, Rosemary, I think we may be spending Candle Feast together again.
This is that time of year. I'm well struck.
And the Northgales tend to wrap up around that time. Surely you'll stay until the storm blows over.
Oh. I think we could stay that long. Besides, they could use it. Maisie, Anki, even Giuseppe.
Yeah, looks around. I think Giuseppe and Anki are like, I don't think they're like necessarily in this conversation, but are in the room, right?
Oh, I was thinking that Giuseppe is like still trying to get people situated outside.
Oh,
He's
okay.
just like,
so just Anki in here.
I thought Anki was in the library.
No, I think did you say you wanted to have soup? I can't hear you.
I can't hear you either.
I was muted.
Oh.
I wanted to have soup.
Yeah, so looks over at like Enki, because I imagine it's like the kind of thing that Rosemary kind of glances over like towards the person when they're talking about him, and like kind of like smiles and is like, I'm excited to meet your friends, get to know them a little better.
They're good kids. Good kiss. The monastery looks about the same as it did.
I hope it holds out through the storm. And I think like the wind gusts and that like kind of rattles the building a little bit. At least there's a lot of people here, so maybe they can help fortify us a little bit.
It's seen worse, even if it's been some time. It's
Um,
built strong.
yeah, I think he pats you on the shoulder a little bit, and kind of like nods, looks around and sees that there's like more things that need to be done. I think there's actually like kind of a patient, like maybe that Komodo dragon kind of like waiting kind of a little bit beside and behind them a little bit, like waiting to ask something. So Elderberry like kind of pats you on the shoulder and says, "Well, I guess that's as much of a break as they'll let me have right now." And like the Komodo dragon looks a little apologetic, and I think says, "You should take yourself over to the pond sometime. It's frozen over right now, and it's nice."
That'd be. Take the others over to see. Be quite. Although I imagine we'll have to wait till the storm.
"Oh no, you've forgotten the pond," and gestures like into like kind of like through this doorway, to this kind of pond that's like in the center of the abbey. I think Melanie, you were the one who had kind of conceived of this pond. What do you think it looks like, and like how, like what it looks like, and like maybe what we can see through the doorway?
I picture that there is a tree in this center area that kind of like curves up, and then the boughs hang over what is like, I don't know why I was picturing it being like a square kind of cement or some other sort of structure that is like a not too deep of a pond area.
I had forgotten. Funny thing, memory. Especially when you get to our age. It's funny what sticks and what doesn't.
Would do you good to have a gander.
Can I ask a favor of you both?
Yeah.
I've been trying to see if there's any kind of move for this, and I'm not seeing anything that really fits for it.
Mm-hmm.
But would you both like talk about you've spent candle feast together before? Could you tell me about a previous candle feast, like just one detail or something about spending that together?
Yeah. I guess I'll ask Rosemary how. I know Melanie just asked about one candle feast, but how many candle feasts do you think that you?
I don't think it's that many.
Okay.
Because these two have not seen each other in quite a while, I think. And I feel like it wasn't. Rosemary's not from here, like from the Abbey. So I think it's a case of like, we spent a few candle feasts. Maybe you spent, or Elderberry spent one with Rosemary's family, and Rosemary spent a few here at the Abbey. So I think it's only been a few, maybe 3 or 4.
I get the vibe that something has happened between the two of our characters, like something negative. There's some kind of thing where, like, when we last parted, it was not on great terms. And I feel like maybe that's at Candle Feast. Like, this is kind of the vibe of like seeing your family at the holidays, where it's like, yeah, it's really nice, but then like sometimes there's like arguments or like things that come up, or everyone's in the same place and like something happens. So I think maybe that like the last Candle Feast that we spent together, there was some kind of argument or some kind of disagreement between Elderberry and Rosemary. How do you feel about that?
I really like that. I think if this works for you, it was an ideological fight about the war.
Yeah, I think so too.
And like Rosemary going off to fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
I guess that makes me curious when Rosemary said like, "Oh, is it that time of year?" and like acted like she didn't know. Like if the last time you two saw each other was at Candle Feast, wouldn't you be acutely aware? Like was that a lie or was that true? You know, like were you acutely aware of like the last time you saw Elder Goodberry or Elder Gooseberry? Sorry,
Elder Goodberry is a different elder.
Yeah, Elder Goodberry is me.
The good Elder
Me mixing
Goodberry.
up this character with a character I played years ago.
Oh.
Do you remember
Yeah.
that? Like, was it Colonel Goodberry or the third or something?
Yeah, no, I think Rosemary, a lot of this conversation, I like Taylor, you have said the vibe of like family, but there's some awkwardness there. So I think it is Rosemary trying to navigate that. Like,
it's like pretending that you like,
right. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, I know exactly. Yes, Candle Feast. When we talked last and had a huge argument. Like,
yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that kind of thing. But it's, yes, very forefront in her mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. So like the last time you two saw each other was Candle Feast, and it was this argument about Rosemary wanting to go off and fight for the revolution, and Elderberry having like, you know, not basically being like, no, I don't think you should, and it's not gonna end well. And I think in that moment of this recollection from both of us of this thing that's unspoken between us of like, we're gonna celebrate Candle Feast together, the last time we did it, well, it wasn't good. And Elderberry, I think, is like getting up and like maybe kind of like brushes against like Rosemary, like against your cloak, and it shows the sword that you carry for just a second, and Elderberry sees that you still carry it, or that you carry one. I imagine you had the sword before during the argument. It's up to you. It's pretty important for your character.
I don't know that she had this sword. I don't know that she had screw tape.
Okay. So sees the sword for the first time. And I think looks very sad and says, I suppose we'll still have a lot to talk about, you and I.
Yes, I think we do. If one more tempered by age and experience.
Another like kind of sad smile. And I think it does something that they used to do when you were younger. Reaches in their pocket and pulls out like a little bit of like candy and like sets it down in front of you and goes
What
out.
kind of candy do you think that Gooseberry has?
I said candy, but I think it's like candy kind of in like the like old like medieval sense of the term, where it's like probably like a piece of dried fruit or something that's like maybe wrapped in paper, something like that. Yeah.
A candied plum.
Yeah.
Rosemary, there's like a hint of a smile when she looks down at it. I imagine I don't remember what you said, you like set it on the counter.
Yeah, set it like down, maybe like next to your soup, like in front of you.
And Rosemary like looks at it and kind of gingerly picks it up. It's been a while. These used to taste like home to me.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a good, I don't think that they have anything to say in response to that. I feel like that's a good place to cut away.
Yeah, I think they kind of like have they're kind of looking at each other, or like not looking at each other very awkwardly. It's sort of like Rosemary's looking at the candy, and Elder Gooseberry's like looking off to something else, and Rosemary's like, my friend Anki wants to get to see the library. Perhaps we should head to the library, Anki.
Yes, I have just finished my soup fully. Not really paying attention to anything you guys are doing.
Is that what?
And like I've just been like really enjoying being in this nice warm place and like being in an abode and like in a nice building and just enjoying my good soup and my tea, and I've just been really wrapped up in that.
Is this what Mila is saying about Anki, or is this what Anki is saying to the others? This is definitely have not been paying attention.
That is what Mila is saying about Anki. Anki's fully just like, huh? Oh yes, I've just finished my soup. To the books.
I love that. I think that's a good place to take our break. So we're gonna go ahead and take 15 minutes to take a little break, and while we're on break, you can see more information about all of the players who are here today, and also take a chance to take a bio break, get a snack, get a drink, whatever it is you need to do. We will be back in 15 minutes. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Felicitations, adventurers. Welcome to the second half of our stream, Shall We? A limited series of Wander Home. And it's a very blustery day outside. Musical guest. And we found our way to Gander Abbey, this monastery that Rosemary has been to before, but none of the rest of us have. And perfect, Mila redeemed the Northgale, so we're getting blown away. You're leaning into the wind, Mila.
Sorry.
And the monastery bells are ringing. So where to next? We just had a scene between Rosemary and her old friend / mentor, Elder Gooseberry. But we don't know what Giuseppe has been up to. We haven't really heard from Anki too much. What do we want to do?
I'd personally be interested in seeing what's going on outside. I think more of us are outside than inside at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Giuseppe's outside trying to make sure everyone's secure. And like, I think everyone who's coming in is sort of, it's kind of petering out, the amount of people who are coming in now.
Mm-hmm.
But the kind of things we're seeing is like huge hay bales, like smashing against the outer side of like these walls. We're seeing stuff getting whipped past. Like, so we got in here just in time.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
So I think he's kind of like pushing against the wind and trying to like tarp things down and stuff like that.
I've had the two emos stuck in my head like throughout. We'll be doing a completely different scene and I'll just be like, I wonder what the two emos are up to. Like, they are consuming me.
They're sharing a loaf cigarette like in a barn area.
Yeah, perfect.
They're sharing their favorite bands.
It's all just the same bands.
They're saying them at the same time as each other. The same band.
If the night gets late enough, they are going to share some poetry that they've written.
Who's your favorite band? My Chemical Romance.
Oh, that's so good. I was thinking Moo-Mance, and I was like, that's really cow specific though. Too cow specific. Cromance is so much better. I need that t-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh
my god.
I think they're I think people see what Giuseppe's doing, and I think they're helping. I'm trying to think of like strong animals. Like maybe there's a monkey. Maybe a monkey is helping you with like the long arms and stuff, and they're able to like kind of pull it down. And apes are horrifically strong. Fall trout boy.
Nate, why didn't you say that out loud on stream? You're on the stream, did you know?
Thank you.
Yeah,
interrupt me next time.
No, that's fair.
All American Bee-Jacks, is that anything? No.
All American.
It's not nothing.
They're bumbles in this world. They're not bees, so it's
my
nothing.
yellow jacket instead of my morning jacket. They're not really emo. They're just a band at this point that I'm just...
Yellow jacket card or yellow card.
So now we're just doing real bee specific. We moved on from any just different not emo bands. And if we can get bee references.
We actually brought everyone to the stream just to listen to us think about puns.
I mean,
that's every stream I'm on.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it truly
and
is.
Melanie really brings it out in me too. So.
Oh yeah, a strong monkey is good. I was thinking that if like we both like could barely pull it down, a big like ox comes behind us and like grabs it and just.
I think I was able to grab something about to fall away because of my weirdly long arms. Oh, I think, you know what? Not a monkey, an orangutan, and is able to grab it and like kind of like work on pulling it down, and then the ox comes back and is like, "Here you go, thank you."
Oh gosh, it's really whipping around out here. Okay, what else to do? Sees the family of does haven't gone inside yet and tries to direct them inside to get their soup too. And I want, okay, so one thing that Elder Gooseberry can do is gallivant into an awkward situation. So I really think that they should be the ones to try to bring out soup to the to the fuck caravan.
Oh no.
I have a suggestion. Do you guys know what the French word for seal is?
No, that's also not a suggestion. It's a question.
Well, the word, we love this word in French immersion because it's fouk.
Oh, okay.
Which sounds exactly like fuck. So I think it's seal wagon. I think the wagon is called the seal wagon, and it's just the fuck wagon. But I think it should be the in-world name of the wagon.
Is the seal wagon.
It's the seal wagon, the fuck wagon.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, Melanie, do you want to be Elder Gooseberry when this happens, or are you torturing another player?
I can do it. I wasn't thinking like a huge scene. I just wanted to be like them, be like, well, we're just gonna take some soup out to the rest. Here we go, and like has like it on.
Oh yeah, you can bring some soup in here.
Well, divvy it out amongst yourselves. May the light of the Haeth shine upon you. Okay.
There's no need to go anywhere so fast.
Okay, well.
Who is saying this? Is this Isabel or is this another?
I mean, take your pick. No, can't do both, but
yeah, Yeah,
I mean,
Mel
you could,
actually, yeah,
but-
Mel could be
be
both.
Elderberry and Isabel in this scene.
Oh, I'd love some soup. And it's actually it's carrot and celery based broth, and here. And, oops, I spilled it on your blouse. Oh, my blouse. Well, I wasn't going to stay on long anyways. Well, that's my cutest skedaddle. You crazy kids.
Thank you.
This is
Yeah,
a dream now. Keep going. Keep
That was
going.
good. That was good.
Beautiful.
No. Isabel knows when I'm like, she's not getting vibes from Elder Gooseberry.
Farrell Tunner in chat just said new all snake band Evanescence.
Yes.
Evanescence.
Yes.
Very good.
This is
Yeah.
good.
My turtle. No, that's not.
Well, usually Mayan turtle.
Mine turtle.
Yeah.
It works.
Mayan
Uh,
tortoise.
Really
Is that close enough to the word?
Can I tell you, Taylor, when you named that turtle Lou, I was like, in my brain, I was like, Turtle Lou. And I was like, how do I work this into
That's what he says when he leaves a place. That's what he's. Oh,
Really?
you know what? Lou's in the fuck wagon, the seal wagon.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what he says to
yeah.
Elderberry is Elderberry leaves. And Lou looks sad that there's not someone age appropriate for him in here now that Elderberry's leaving. For some reason, Automod was like, you can't say bite you. Which I'm like, I don't know. That's not that bad.
Being pretty careful.
I guess that's a threat, kind of. It's not really that scary of a thing. Okay, so the soup has been delivered. What were you gonna
Elder
say,
Gooseberry is like, I took a vow of celibacy. You all have a good evening.
It's
Good.
unrelated to the Abbey, just the thing that he said.
Yeah. Yeah. He actually just made it in response to...
Well, you know what? I think I've actually had enough for my life.
He saw this happening. It was like, never.
I'm taking a vow
Never
of
again.
celibacy.
Never again.
You ever seen a take so bad it makes you take a vow of celibacy?
Yes.
Yes, actually.
Koi division.
Yeah, Koi division is very good too.
Okay, you know what? Maisie's out in the yard. She's up on top of something. She's like nailing something down. And you know what? She gets swept away in the wind. She gets swept up into the sky. All right? Is that what you all wanted? You goof off so much, my character gets blown into the sky.
We have won.
I'm swept up into the clouds, all right? And no one sees it.
I think Giuseppe would see it.
I think this is the point that Enki gets to the library, and I think there's like a window, and as Enki walks in, looks out this window, and just sees Maisie go flying. Like,
Yeah, and I think what it looks like is as you're seeing it, Maisie. I kind of like the idea that I'm not even like this isn't even like me being like in character. I see this thing and then this happens. It's just me describing what you all see, which is Maisie when Enki sees Maisie blowing away. Just sees Maisie's hand up like this, like holding on to seemingly nothing. Like Mary Poppins holding on to an umbrella, except for there's no umbrella, there's nothing. It's just holding on to nothing and being pulled up into this roiling storm. And Enki, there's like a flash of lightning, and you think you see like again this like face in the clouds. What does the face look like to Enki? It's not Maisie's
Ooh.
face. It's a different face.
It's a doppelganger. No.
Not even something we talked about on stream.
No, it's not.
No one knows why you're saying that. Barrymore is very good.
Oh, I got it now. I had to hear that one.
I'm putting them in the chat so we can keep moving.
You
We'll always stop.
My brain is gonna put these out, but we have to keep going.
Save them up. We're gonna get distracted. No, keep saying them. Keep saying them.
I think it's the face of. Oh God, we already had a badger, but I'm thinking it's the face of an American badger. So very angry.
Yeah. And it's like I imagine it's like kind of like in the clouds. So even as like you recognize like, oh yeah, that looks like an American badger, like already it's like kind of shifting and changing and like going away in like the split second that you see it. And yeah, Maisie like kind of like disappears up into the sky.
I book it outside. I'm my little three-toed feet are just
cluttering. Just got to the library.
I know, but I'm very concerned about the fact that little Maisie.
Yeah, it makes sense that you would. I just feel bad.
Yeah.
Have you warned? Did you tell anyone else, or are you just like?
At this point, I'm kind of enjoying the fact that Enki can't get to the library. This is like a bit for me personally.
Yeah.
And I'm just like
running away.
I'm like running outside, my little toes click clacketing on the stone, and I'm just like Giuseppe.
Oh heavens! Oh my gosh!
I think Giuseppe's the first one I see, and then I'm like, "Where's Rosemary?"
Well, I think you had to like run past Rosemary to get outside.
I think I just didn't see you. I was just like, where are they? I don't think you've ever seen like it's very like Rosemary. I think you might have because I think we've been traveling for a bit, but I don't think most people have seen Enki like move this quickly.
We are booking it.
Like, do I fly?
Can you?
I don't know. I don't do it really, and so I'm just like, what do I do?
We can get Jack there a little bit higher if we need to. Do we have any rope? Is there any ropes?
Giuseppe, you have to have seen ropes.
I immediately turn on my heels and run back and try to find like where I've seen coils of rope and like get them from everybody who's in the space.
Henry like waddles out of the fuck wagon and he's like, I have some rope, but you'll have to get it off me. And he's like fully like under his clothes.
Right?
Yeah, he
it's like no time for that, Henry. Maybe later. Like, goes to like where the teens are like smoking that cigarette, looking like they are thinking about trying to kiss each other, maybe. And there's like a bottle of rope there, and like slings it over his shoulder and books it back to where we saw you disappear to the sky.
Yeah, Zay, were you gonna say something?
Like running around, no explanation either. Like, we could have helped.
Mila, you have to be this other emo teen.
You do.
I need you to be this other emo teen right now.
Yeah, Zay, are you being which one? Are you the emu or the cow right now?
Mila, which one do you want?
I don't know. I think I'll be the emu, the animal. not
okay,
like...
I will be the emu.
All right, excellent. Oh, they just like don't get it. They think we're so young and unexperienced, but like look at my neck. I am basically a rope.
Yeah, like I'm strong. Like we have things to offer. And they don't even ask.
Ugh. And it's like, what? We're just sitting here smoking. Like, it's not like we have anything better to do, and they just don't even want our help.
It's like they don't even see us.
How are we going to prove to our parents that we're not just useless teenagers if they don't even give us the chance?
They don't even want to.
They don't. They want to keep us down. They want us to stay these little perfect little preppy kids, but we're not. We're emo adults almost. I'm like 17.
Yeah, I'm like well, I'll be 17 in like a couple of months. That's basically an adult.
Well, I'm actually 16 next month, or 17 next month, so I'm actually only 16, but like it's basically an adult. 16 is basically 17, you know?
And I'm like really mature for my age.
Yeah, you are. So am I.
Yeah, you are.
We should just get our bags and pack up and go on tour. You know, because we've been talking, and you know, I'm so good at the jug.
Sorry.
And I can play guitar. Well, like
Yeah.
a couple of chords.
That's all you need to start our folk punk band.
And your poetry?
Thank you. You know, it was really hard for me to show you that, but I'm really glad I did. Our hands gently brush.
Hey, honey, did you get some soup? Honey,
Mom!
did you get
Mom,
They're making
not
bread
now.
rolls. If you take out the chunk of bread, you put it in the bread, and you get it's very filling. Honey, did your little friend want some soup too?
My mom wants to know if you want any soup.
I heard. I'm kind of hungry.
I'm kind of hungry.
I'll get you both some soup. I love you. Be right back.
Thanks, Mom. Love you too. I guess.
What was that?
I kind of love my mom.
Like,
she doesn't get me, but like, she means well, I guess. And she also buys me all my CDs, so I don't have a job yet. I mean, and I can't have a job, because if I have a job, how am I going to write my sick poetry?
Yeah, we have all these ideas, and we just need to get them out into the world.
Exactly.
We could make them listen to us.
Yeah, we could. You know what we should do? We should play our songs. We have those now for everyone at the next festival. That has a name.
Candle Feast.
Candle Feast.
We should do it at Candle.
We should do it at Candle Feast.
I bet that you see the spot down there by the stable. We could make that a stage. We could like totally make that work.
Oh, your vision. So good.
We just need like a backdrop, and like we can do this.
Absolutely.
And then they'll get what we have. They'll understand us.
They'll understand us because they had to listen to us. That's it. We just need to make them see us. Really see us.
Here's your soup, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
And I brought you an extra coat because it's getting real cold. Here's for your friend too. Stay warm.
Mom, I can't wear the coat.
It's freezing out here.
If I cover up my coat, no one's gonna see that. It's from My Chemical Romance.
Oh, honey,
such a cool coat.
It's such a cool coat.
Yeah, it's super cool, honey. It's such
like, you could only get it on like the tour.
Exactly. I know. I paid for them to go to the tour.
You did, and I really appreciate that, Mom.
Yeah, I would do anything for my sweetie. Okay, you kids have fun. Stay warm. Okay, love you.
You don't need to stay warm. Bye, Mom. Oh, stop giving me kisses. Go away.
This isn't fun. This is important.
Oh.
I see, like, they treat me like a child just because I can't buy anything and I'm 16 and live at home. And Write poetry all day and can't get up on time.
We need to go make like a backdrop.
Yeah,
Like, we need to get the stage ready.
we do. With your artistic direction and my poetry, this is gonna be the best show ever. It's gonna be even better than My Chemical Romance or even Mink 182.
The wind is
Even
blowing.
good sharklet.
Sure is.
The Northgale wind is blowing. Thank you, feral tenor.
Thank you,
Maisie's
Feral Tenor,
dead.
for the wind and Giuseppe's still like trying to like lasso you.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so Giuseppe's trying to lasso Maisie. I think I kind of like, so I kind of have this idea. This does not have to be like a long scene, actually. It should probably be pretty short. But does somebody else want to play the god of wind and luck?
Hell yeah. For sure.
So I think like, so we see this scene between these two teenagers. We see that we like kind of the camera like kind of like pans out like this like through the wall of the barn, and we see kind of like in the back, not the backdrop, but like kind of like far away, like looking kind of small, like far away from the camera, we see like Giuseppe and Enki and Rosemary trying to like struggle with the rope and figure out what's going on. And then the camera goes up through the clouds into like, I kind of feel like it's like almost like Eye of the Storm-esque vibe, where it's like you can still hear the wind, but it's like this like little area that's like all you can just see is cloud around. And Maisie is just being carried, pulled up into this cloud by like the paw, by the invisible god of wind and luck who Maisie has met before. But I don't think she knows that's what's happening right now. So it's like, it's just like yelling. And it's like, help, help. Just like struggling, like feeling like her paw is caught, but not understanding really how or why.
I think you get into a space where it's kind of like lighter, like there's a bunch of dark gray clouds around, but you're all of a sudden in a space where there's kind of lighter gray clouds all around you. You hear like around you hear claps of thunder and like rumbling. And then over your left shoulder, you hear, "Hi, Maisie." Hey, long time no see.
Hey, yeah, I guess I've never seen you before. Is this you, the god of wind and luck?
Yeah, you remember. I guess it's hard to forget me. How you doing? What are you doing here? I guess I should ask.
Oh, well, I've been traveling with some of my friends, kind of going around and seeing all of the important places that were, fought during the war and places that are important for the rebellion, and telling stories and helping people. And I guess I just want to see like what's left of the rebellion and keep the spirit of it alive. But we kind of got blown off course.
Sure. And you're here. You just happen to be where I am. You're here?
You just happen to be where I am.
I mean, I kind of got something going on right now. I don't know if you've noticed what's happening in the area.
The Northgale is you?
I mean, it's not all of a sudden you hear it on the right side of you. I mean, it's not entirely me. You hear the stuff that's still going on, and I'm right here with you right now. And I'm glad that you stopped yelling. I would be ashamed if she were to hear you. Kind of got this thing going on with, here. And like kind of you feel your body being like shifted to look up at a certain point of the clouds. And if you stay looking that direction for a bit, all of a sudden there is a flash of lightning and you see a massive shape that is illuminated for a brief moment and then disappears. Yeah, so she and I have had a little bit of a tiff going on, I guess. I guess this is her area. She's been doing stuff here for a while, yada, yada, yada. A lot of lore about her. But, I go where the wind takes me. And I go, some weird territory stuff. And I seem to have found myself mixed up in this whole business.
So you grabbed me to help you?
Yeah, and you hear it in front of you now. I was just at first I was surprised to see you here, but then I was like, Maisie's a sharp one. She probably knows how to, kick a queen's ass. I'm sure she can give me some pointers. What am I doing wrong? We keep on clashing. It just feels like we're getting nowhere. You know what I mean? It's very frustrating, and I would like to not have to be here for very much longer.
Yeah, I guess, and Maisie starts to think a little bit because she does know a lot of stories and things about different locations, and I think has probably heard about the God Queen before, and says, "Oh, well, the story goes that the God Queen ripped a hole in the world, and that's how she became a god. So,
yeah.
I don't know, could you fill it back in?"
I don't know if that would stop her being a god, is the thing. It's once that cork is popped, there's no re-cork in it, right? She's been a god queen for a while. So wait, hold on one second. And you feel they're not there anymore.
Can I start to fall?
You start to sort of sink through this cloud that you're sitting in. And just at the moment when you start to panic that you're going to fall out of this cloud, you get yanked back up. It's like, oh, okay, sorry. I just had to, maintain something where she was, whatever. I'm not gonna bother you with the details about how we're fighting right now, but
yeah, I mean, I've never fought a god before that I know of.
I've never had a god try to fight me, really.
I do have a friend with a really cool sword. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the kind of sword that can kill a god.
I mean, would you ask them?
Yeah. I mean, she kind of hates to use the sword, but I feel like this would be a really good cause because the storm is causing a lot of problems for everybody, and maybe and she fought in the war, so I think this would be a good reason to to have another fight. I've just got this, and pulls out my little my tiny little knife that I carry.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would do the thing.
No.
Okay, well, I can't leave you here because I think you will plummet to your death. So just come on. And you are yanked back down through the clouds. Anki, Rosemary, and Giuseppe are looking up in the sky with the rope, trying to see any glimpse of Maisie. Sees her almost Superman flying at her.
Yeah.
And at first we are excited to see you, and the next we are very concerned that you are coming straight towards us in this way.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to happen is you swoop down, and Rosemary, all of a sudden you are being pulled up as well.
Oh
into
no!
The sky. You are both kind of twisting
so we're both getting pulled back up.
You're both getting pulled back up, and you ultimately find yourself back in this gray liminal cloud space.
I'm going to add just real quickly.
Oh, yes, please.
One of the things that the queen can always do, the god queen, is lash out without meaning to.
Oh.
And I think as Rosemary is getting pulled back up, Rosemary and Maisie are getting pulled back up. Just in fighting what the North God is doing, there is like a sudden hailstorm that blows in and is like peppering against everyone and everything in this outside area. It is, I think, Elder Gooseberry is walking back to get like more soup, and it starts pinging off of her pots, and like a few of the wagons are damaged, and everyone else is like ducking for cover as a sudden hailstorm blows through.
Giuseppe runs back to Antonio to try to make sure he's covered and not going to get injured. That's so good. That's so fucking good. But we find ourselves in this liminal space, and you feel yourself, Rosemary. Like, it feels like someone's kind of lazily dusting you off. It's like, okay, so I hear that maybe you can help me with the problem. Your friend here, Maisie, she knows her stuff. So she says you're the person to talk to.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to catch me up a little bit more. I'm going to need like a little bit more context.
Yeah, you know the thing where it's like your brain is thinking certain things and you don't stop to think that other people don't know the things you're thinking. Okay.
Sure, but you seem to be some sort of wind, and you've pulled me up here, and I didn't even know the wind
you get talk.
It. I assure you I do not.
I'm some kind of wind. Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
The god of wind.
That's not helping.
This is the god of wind.
That helps a little bit. Only a little bit.
We're kind of friends.
Yeah. We've known each other way back. Maisie's the best. She loves me, you know.
I think maybe the god of wind and luck knew Maisie when she was like barely more than a baby. Like a toddler, I think. Yeah. It's like kind of like a Moana vibe of like with the ocean. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And like, what is age to a god?
Yeah.
Like, you're the same. You're always a baby.
Right.
Yeah, you're all babies.
So that's just a slightly smaller one.
Yeah, we go way back, or maybe we don't. Who knows?
Oh my gosh. Feral Hunter, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate it. Thank you for the gifted sub. So basically like turns to Rosemary and kind of like quickly is like, oh yeah, this is like the god of wind and luck. And we were thinking that, well, okay, so the part of the reason why there's this storm is there's this god queen who, like, I don't know if you've heard of her, she's like pretty bad. And she, like, you know, tore a hole in the world, became a god, all this different stuff. And well, so the god of wind and luck was kind of saying, oh, this fight needs to kind of be brought to an end. And so I thought, who better to bring an end to a fight than Rosemary? Because you've got like a sword with a name, and usually people with a sword with a name, you can kill a god.
Yeah, does that sword kill gods?
This sword kills quite a lot. Many things. But I can't help you.
You feel yourself start to sink a little bit. And Maisie, you notice that Rosemary is starting to sink a little
bit. I mean, I think Maisie notices it and thinks this is a bluff, kind of, from this god.
No. This is not the god threatening you. It is the god being like, oh, you can't help me. And it's just kind of like not really paying attention, is like focused on Maisie and is like, oh, Rosemary's no help, not thinking about that. You are human and you will die.
Yeah, I think Maisie thinks this is a play. Maisie thinks this is a bluff. So sees Rosemary start to sink a little bit and is like, but like it's just starting to, and is like, oh, Rosemary, come on. That sword is so cool and you never use it. And this is a perfect time. Think about all the people that are being hurt right now. All the problems that could be solved if you just kill this god who's bad anyway.
If it solves a problem, it only creates more. Maisie, we've talked about this. If I've learned one thing, it's the violence doesn't solve anything. It'll only cause more harm, more pain. There are other things we can do, but I assure you, and I assure you, where you are, you don't want me drawing this sword.
You feel yourself being like kind of pulled back up, and then a wind brushes past your face, and in that wind you hear, I mean, you don't have to use it. I can just use it. It's like, if it kills gods, then like that solves my problem. That solves your problem too, you know? Now you guys don't want two gods fighting up here. No one wants that. No one wants to be kept in one space and not be able to travel the world like wind is supposed to do, you know? And you feel like a sort of static electricity in the air almost. Like that this god is annoyed.
I'm going to do something that I can always do, and that's ask, what are you hiding?
I'm not hiding anything. Well, I don't even know why you would. What a way to talk to a god. You hear that voice get a little bit bolder as it whips around you.
You forget. According to you, I am a person who could kill a god.
You feel the wind die down a little bit. So you're saying it works.
I'm saying I have quite a powerful sword, and I don't want to draw it. And I don't think, truly, if you knew what this could do, you would want me to draw it. But I'm not saying we won't help. We don't want to be trapped. We don't want to be trapped here any more than you do, but, well, clue us in. How'd we end up here?
Wait, could you repeat that? I don't think my brain processed what you just said.
Clue us in. How'd we end up here?
You mean like literally right now in this space that you're in?
Why is this happening?
Hubris, power. Like, she's all about power. I'm just going through the area, and she just had to start. This couldn't be occupied by another deity. Like, I was just seeing what was up with this monastery, and she just couldn't let it go. And now I'm here, stuck in one-on-one combat with another god. That's the thing I've never had to do. I'm not a fighter, okay? Maisie, I'm not a fighter. I'm free-spirited. I'm about joy and love and all that stuff. Whatever.
I
don't get tied down like this.
That's really good. I think Maisie is going to is kind of like looking back and forth between the two of you, and just as a last ditch effort to try to get Rosemary either to give the god the sword or to agree to do something, I'm going to ask, Rosemary, can I change your mind on this? And that's the thing that I can always do. You get a token if you say yes or if you explain why you say no.
I don't think you can, dear. I swore never to draw the sword again. And as important as it would be, as much as it helps us, I don't think in the end it'd be worth it. As dangerous as a storm is, gods, they're a part of our cycle, a part of our lives. Storms like this, sometimes they're necessary. You cut that out of the world and you leave a hole. And that's supposedly what this queen did, and look where it ended up. You try to cut out a problem instead of fixing it, and you just cause more problems.
I think as Rosemary is saying this and like explaining her position, Maisie is still listening, but like kind of looking around, and like there's a little part in the clouds where she can see like the destruction that is being wrought by this conflict, and I think is just internally having that feeling of trying to understand where Rosemary's coming from with this, but feeling as though she has to act in the face of all these bad things that are happening, and just takes the answer, but doesn't like sit well. It's like basically like, to her there's a person here who could solve all these problems, all the people whose property is being destroyed, all the people who are being displaced by this storm. Rosemary could solve it all and just won't. And so I think Maisie kind of kind of her nose wrinkles a little bit and nods, and but doesn't look happy about it and doesn't really know what to do next.
Listen, if I don't care if we kill her or whatever. Whatever the solution could be, I just need. Yeah, you know what? I was going to say I just want, but it really is. I just need to get out of here. And I can't. No matter how I try, she keeps me here and she keeps me fighting her. And I can't keep doing this. And I would like to point everyone's to the thing that the God Queen can always do, which is anchor something in the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm taking that to mean that she is like, this deity has been was trying to pass through this area. And for whatever reason, this God Queen maybe is bored, lonely, has kept this other deity in like combat so that she doesn't have to face that.
That's so good, Melanie.
So good.
That's really, really good.
It's a good game. Wanderhome, play it.
Yeah. I feel like we should see. I feel like that's like, I like that kind of like hanging in the air of like this conflict that like the three of us don't know how to solve. And what's happening with Enki? Down below. And Giuseppe. I forgot Giuseppe was down there too because you were playing the god.
Giuseppe is like trying to put anything above like Antonio's body that's like getting pelted with like with the hail, and Antonio's like making like big lumbering, beasts of burden kind of noises, and Giuseppe's like even crawling on him, just trying to shield his body like with his own. So it's like kind of being like, I mean, Rosemary's with her now, so like probably that'll be taken care of. It's fine.
Rosemary. Giuseppe.
Oh, Antonio, it's okay, baby. It's okay. We'll keep you safe.
I don't know what to do.
You're getting pelted with hail.
And it hurts.
I'm picturing the teens like sticking their arms out and be like, oh God, that really stings.
I can take it. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
caravan,
fine. I like the
caravan is also doing the same thing.
Ouch.
Ow.
See one little butt cheek stick out of like the caravan window.
I think that I also had that thought.
One little butt cheek.
Not a full
This
butt,
one.
just one of the cheeks.
One little furry butt cheek.
And that's where the stream's ending.
I was gonna say, I feel like we are at the time we were gonna wrap up. So I think we're wrapping up the stream with Anki and Giuseppe freaking out on the ground, Rosemary and Maisie up in a cloud talking to a god. And we'll all have to find out together how this ends. In 2 weeks.
Probably
on
in
the
death, huh?
30th, right?
Yeah. There's gonna be a dead bird there soon.
Elted to death.
Oh my god.
Just get under cover.
Also, what am I don't even know what this is in my mind, but I feel like it's like that thing of like when the birds are just kind of jumping and like flapping their wings a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that is just
Yeah.
you're just getting pelted
That is
by hail
exactly.
and like just
And
jumping
squawking.
around.
And squawking. Like that is that is precisely what is happeing. Yeah.
Good.
The
That's
little
incredible.
kiwi bird shepherds are just like waving you under shelter.
I think Enki will follow them.
I
But-
could.
But like, as the credits are rolling over this episode, Anki hops under the shelter.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We're gonna wrap up this stream. Before we do, we're gonna go around and people can let you know who they are, where you can find them, etc., etc. And this time we're gonna start with Zay.
With me, yes, I am Zay, as you've seen. If this was not enough of me for you, which I don't know why it wouldn't be, but I have some games that I've written that you can go check out. They're on my itch page, wildjblue.itch.io. I have a handful of games up. I have some very silly games, and we talked about one last time. If you like more sad and dramatic, I got you covered there too. Because I do like them sad. So yeah, go check out my games. The only other place you can really find me on the internet right now is on Tumblr, and I don't even post there very often. So you can follow me if you want, same username. Other than that, come back in 2 weeks.
Come back in 2 weeks. Mila, what about you?
I have been and will continue to be Mila. I also stream over here on Twitch over at Tromila. You can also find me on Twitter. You can find me on Tumblr. It's all pretty much the same username. And yeah, there's a lot more of me there.
And Melanie, what about you?
Hello, I've been Melanie Andrews, playing Giuseppe Crabapples. You can find me on Twitter, I guess. I'm not on there often. Twitter and Instagram at Lemony Drews. I'm at Super Weirdy Feeling on Tumblr, but I only repost blonde fae current obsessions. So you're Jareth, you're House from House Moving Castle, you know. So if you're into that, I guess follow me, but I don't know if it's really worth it. And I'll be here sometimes.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, in 2 weeks specifically.
And I'm Taylor. You can find me online at Roll for Felicity pretty much everywhere. Let me see. Is this command working? Yes, it is. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, and also Blue Sky, although I don't have the link for that. But if you're on Blue Sky, you can look me up, where I post about thoughts and opinions. And on Tumblr, actually, I have been posting some kind of like long form, like bloggy kind of content about mostly game design. So you can follow me there, and I'm hoping to post more of that kind of stuff in the coming year, like some reviews and stuff like that. So and then on YouTube you can check out previous games that I've run on stream, including the previous episode of Shall We, and also if you're watching this other than live, you're watching this on my YouTube. So that's what I've got going on. I'm sure I'll have some games for December that I'll be announcing soon, one shots that I'm doing. But I think that's pretty much everything. So we are going to go ahead and wrap up stream. And actually, I think I have someone to raid. Let me see if they're still alive.
Ooh.
Let me look. They might not be. Yes,
There's
they are.
so many good ones tonight. Ugh.
Yeah, there's
Ugh.
let me see. Raid. It's been a little while since I've raided someone. So let me see what the command is. We're gonna raid Lost Caravan. Because they are playing Delta Green right now. So, and it's their season finale. So Lost Caravan RPG. And actually I'm going to be on Lost Caravan later this month. I forget what the date is, but playing
nice.
The Witcher TTRPG. And sequel to a previous one shot. But yeah, that's us. Tune in not next week, the week after, for the finale for at least this season of Shall We, our Wander Home actual play. Do you want to say goodbye to chat and goodbye to the YouTube pod?
Goodbye to
Bye,
chat.
chat.
Goodbye to YouTube.
Goodbye, YouTube pod.
Goodbye. Mwah.